Heidi Welch, 2013 New Hampshire Teacher of the Year, and one of, I believe, only 3 arts teachers in the room. I teach music in a very rural area in New Hampshire, and I think I would be remiss if I did not take this opportunity as one of the very few arts teachers that represent the NNSTOYs to say that we are running scared with CCSS. And even though the new arts standards were just released on June 4th, I think that we are so busy saying, how can we fit in to the Common Core, instead of saying we are valuable because we're valuable. And I think that you said earlier, we pit groups against each other. Well, the arts teachers are the first always, and I know you've heard this a million times, to go. And we are very fearful, and band directors all over the country are going, how can I measure that? How can, as Charlotte talks about evaluations, why are you giving me an evaluation based on the reading scores? That's not appropriate, it's not okay. And I think that we should be valued. And I know we're lobbying at the national level and all of that stuff, but what can we possibly do to say, I'm sick of, STEM and STEAM are great, but I'm sick of trying to fit music in because, well, can you fit us in? Can you fit it in? Sorry, we're arts teachers. No, gosh darn it. We are valuable parts of every child's educational purpose, just life. And talk about grit, ask a music teacher if they have grit. Because I know that in my band room, those kids are learning resilience every day when they pick up that instrument and they fingered that thing wrong, and then they have to try it again and again and again. Because guess what? Does anybody want to go to a performance that's a 75%? I don't think so. So I have to be 100%, or else people think that my program is a failure. 92% is not good enough in the band concert hall. So what can we do to make that message very clear that we are arts, but gosh darn it, we are very important and very valuable just because we don't teach science, social studies, math, English.
I can't think of a better spokesman for this than you, so you just get on the road. This will solve itself. No, three things. Let me start on a tough one. I just talked about Philly and the sort of funding cuts here. This wasn't today, but last year I talked to an amazing music instructor here in Philly who literally had $0 for his budget. So what he was teaching his kids in music was bucket drumming. Like you see kids on the street playing. That was his music curriculum. Blew me away. And he was talking about resilience and grit. He was doing it. But bucket drumming should not be the point of what we're teaching our kids. Our kids deserve a little bit better than that. That's one. Tied to that, secondly, obviously for me, this is just, again, go back to where I started, this is a resource issue. And when funding is cut, whether art, music, PE, after school, we know what gets cut first. And as a nation, we either invest or we don't, but we either see this as part of a core curriculum of a well-rounded, world-class education, or we don't. And for me, art, music, dance, drama, sports, whatever, robotics, yearbook, those aren't extras, academic decathlon. That's what our kids need to be successful. I also say it can't just be at the high school level. It's got to be first and second, third grade. And it's not, every kid's not going to be in the Joffrey Ballet or whatever, but they're developing skills and habits and a reason to come to school every single day that without those, school's a less attractive proposition. Again, for me, the enemy is this dropout. And arts and other things help to keep kids in school and develop a healthy sense of self-esteem. So these either become, again, part of the norm and we demand them to be part of the norm, or they will continue to be, quote-unquote, extracurricular, which in tough budget times get cut. For me, it's just an unacceptable proposition. The final one, an eval, which is a really interesting one, is that, yes, we should hold the teacher accountable. I'll give you a great example. I just give you a guy, Drew Davison, who was an art teacher in Tennessee. They were doing a thing there in Tennessee where his evaluation was based on reading scores or whatever. He thought it didn't make sense. He created sort of a peer-reviewed, double-blind, some complex way of really evaluating the quality of his kids' work. It was adopted district-wide. It is now being adopted statewide. So it's the opposite of running away from accountability, about meaningful accountability. And this is a perfect example. You guys should go talk to him and see where I don't have the latest update. But he's basically changed the culture of the state of Tennessee and saying we want to be held accountable, we are important, We don't want to do it in a way that doesn't make sense, to go back to the Oregon example, but we're going to come with a much more thoughtful, meaningful solution, and people are listening to that. And so that's the kind of thing, and maybe it shouldn't take that, but maybe that's what it does take. It does take great teachers standing up and saying, we have a better way, we have a way that does make sense, it's not nonsensical, and we're going to step up. And at least in that particular example, that one teacher with some other teachers has had a profound, profound impact and change.